Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Near Mint Condition. I am Dom of X, a little bit under the weather, but not only would we like to thank everybody here in the chat and everybody else who will be joining us later. I would also like to thank two wonderful people that I have invited today for this specific stream to help me carry as I am under the weather. Two, the person on my right is
Omnibus. I don't know. Like, you've asked me to come on, and I think I'm worse than you in health. I am so bad. I feel like I have a knife in my throat, and I've got another show to do tomorrow morning with Jess. So if you see me inconspicuously go like this, it's because I'm blowing my nose or something.
But nonetheless, we are thankful to have Beau on, even if I decide or fate decides that our health in bad shape just can't seem to align, guys. It can't seem to align. And to the person at the bottom of my screen is none other than
That's Kurtis Findlay from the Epic Marvel Podcast. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad to be here. I am in fine health right now, so I hope that both of you get a speedy recovery. Omnibo, it's been a while for you. You were sick on the stream that I was a part of on Thursday, so you've been sick for a while here.
It's been all week. I've been sick, and up until today, I've been feeling like death. Where today I don't feel so bad except for the throat, but it's sticking around, man.
It is definitely not fun for sure.
Yeah, I hope you get better really quickly.
Me too.
Yes, indeed. We are obviously going to be send as much love to Beau as possible, guys. He is, like I said earlier, he is one of the best people around, one of the greatest balls of energy that I have ever met. Yes, indeed. And of course, yes, we would like to also thank all of you for hitting that 120,000 subscriber milestone. Still cannot believe it's been real. But obviously hitting 100K last year, and now, through 1 year we got 20,000 plus. We would not be able to do this without you guys. So I would like to thank all of you for allowing us to continue to make awesome content to talk about comics for you all. Of course, you can check out Beau at their awesome YouTube channel. They've got games, they got epic guests. They have rock concerts and everything pop culture that you can think of in Australia. And yes, you can watch them tomorrow. And I believe Jess should be on right after the stream too. So if you are migrating over, there will be a show right after. And of course, you can check out my friend Kurtis, who does epic unboxing streams on his YouTube channel. We'd also like to thank James for pushing in through the DC Finest and Epic Collection links and whatnot. And yes, while Omar's away, Alf will play, although I don't think... Oh, yeah, Kurtis does have the Alf on his bookshelf. Let's see.
For those of you, for people who don't know, where is Omar right now?
Oh my goodness, he is. Yesterday, anyways, he was on a plane to go to Berlin, Germany, which is the host, of course, of Walt's Comic Shop, the #1 destination for all of your collected editions in Europe. And in fact, if you let us know or let them know that we sent you, you will be able to get free shipping. And Omar next week will be streaming live. He will be streaming live at Walt's Comic Shop with Walt. Christian Ward will be there. There will be a lot of other amazing guests that will also be there. There might even be some of you mentees that are stationed in the EU that will be able to help out over there as well. Yes, I will be doing a review for Scooby Apocalypse, but a lot of the timing right now, I have this is going to be scheduled out. This is the DC Finest Horror: The
Ooh.
Devil's Doorway. Just started reading it yesterday, and one of my favorite stories so far in here is written and drawn by Gil Kane. That echoes a lot of you guys have been reading Public Domain by Chip Zdarsky. It definitely feels like that. It just depends on when the books come in, but I will be doing an overview for Scooby Apocalypse. Carson says hello to us three. Lars doing voodoo. Lars was supposed to be here, but he's at Des Moines Con, so I guess Des Moines Con is more important than we are. I'm partly being sarcastic. What's up, Wesley? Yeah, wasn't Omnibo in the Marvel stream on Thursday? Please get better quick.
Thank you.
Yeah. Biggest difference between Omnibus Collector and Comics Ones. Thank you for the super chat, Patel from Canada.
That's a loaded question. Straight off the bat, the first thing that pops into my mind, which is not the only reason, but a big reason, is at least here in Australia, I think you'll find a lot of single issue comic people love to flip books. They love to buy variants. They love to buy and sell, where the omnibus collectors, they buy them and put them on the shelf.
Curtis, what would you say is the biggest difference?
The omnibus collectors have bigger forearms.
Yeah, I can echo a lot of what Beau and single issue Steve from Aussieverse, because it's very much so in the way of a lot of people who are just strictly omnibus collectors. They just want it in that format. They prefer the big. You have it all in there. Everybody that I know, then this includes me, because I also still read single issues. Some of us want to also know what's going on as the book is coming out. I am afraid of going online and seeing spoilers or being told by somebody, hey, this thing happened in this book. Cool. I didn't want to know that, but reading single issues allows me to zigzag through. I don't know how Peter does it, but I do my best in trying to keep up with all of the singles. Oh, okay. Jess said that he postponed his and Jessica's show at 1 p.m. Eastern today to a later day. Jessica is sick.
Another sick person.
Yeah,
we're all sick, man. This is not good. Alpha Epic when, Curtis? When do you think?
Well, probably never. Last I heard, I think, who was it? Maybe Dynamite was trying to get the rights to Alf to reprint the Alf comics. I'm not sure. So I wouldn't expect it anytime soon.
All right. You heard it from him and not from me. What's up, Dom, Curtis, and Omnibo? Hope you are all well, and hello to everybody else in the chat. Let's see. Yeah, Omar's fine. Hello, how do you like the new have you guys been reading the history of the DC universe? Are you not really following like many others aren't interested? They are hyped, apparently. Have you guys been reading it?
I haven't, no, but one of our members of Aussieverse has, and he's really digging it.
Okay. Let's see. Does the Tomb of Dracula omnibus collect the letter pages? The reprint is the same as the previous one, but Beau has his on copy.
Let's see, letter pages. I don't think it does.
Uh-oh.
Unless they've put them all in one part of the Omni, I am not seeing them, I'm sorry.
All right, so it does not.
But there is a couple of like articles and stuff from the original comics. Like here's an interview with Marv Wolfman, sorry. But I'm not seeing any letter pages, I'm sorry. Nope.
Must be. Is that the exception? Because I thought they usually did include the letter pages in Omnis.
I think they do and they don't. It really, I don't know what the reasoning behind when they do it and when they don't. But I've noticed they don't do it a lot.
Okay, I thought that was standard, but maybe that's just for the classic.
Yeah.
The more, I mean,
Yeah,
Tomb of Dracula is
maybe,
pretty
but
classic. You think that they would, but I mean, how
yeah.
you get like 35 issues in an Omni approximately, right? Like on average, about 30 to 35 issues. Is that right?
Oh, these days I'm starting to think it's like 40. But yeah,
40? Because that's like, yeah, if you take one letter page from each book, that's 40 pages, 45 pages. You
yeah.
could put two more issues in there instead. And so maybe based on how they want to divide up the volumes in total, based on what the page count is going to be on all of those, and factoring in um, uh, the printing prices for books that are over 1,000 pages versus 1,200 pages or whatever the cost and stuff. Maybe they have to make that decision. Well, the letter
Oh,
pages
here we
have to
go.
go.
21 Roy. The
Yeah.
letter pages are only in the omnis that are masterwork omnis.
I know
Okay.
that they include those in the masterworks, but I think like Beau said, it's some of them have it, some of them don't. At least that's been my experience.
Well, Tomb of Dracula has mostly been masterwork to now, so maybe they can get a new edition that would include it.
How's this for a great idea? What if we start releasing omnibuses of just the letter pages?
Oh man!
Fantastic Four
Wow.
Volume 1. It can just be like the first 40 letter pages.
Oh gosh, that's a lot of. They wouldn't have to do technically much restoration work compared to colors and whatnot. So
Nope.
comparatively, I'm saying comparatively, there's still a thing to do, guys. Let's see. Has any one of you already done an overview of DC Finest Justice League of America: The Return? I am scheduled to do that at some point next week, Karsten. I need to look back at the schedule again, but I promise it will be out at some point. Dom, did you get the giant size special edition of Batman #1? I went to the shop and they were already sold out of it when I got there.
Wow.
Yeah, people want it. Yeah,
I've only
people
seen
want.
one person buy it here.
Oh man, we had a Jim Lee signing at my comic shop, and the people who were waiting in line, all of them snagged up the giant size edition of Batman 158 to have Jim Lee sign it. So
Yeah.
yeah, they got peeps in. Don, will either you or Omar do a review of Superman by Busiek Book 2 in the future? I am guessing, yeah, Omar will probably at some point. But right now, I think the plan for him when he gets back is just to get back in and ease himself into the work again, because obviously he's out for 10 months or 10 weeks or 10 days. I cannot speak. He's out for 10 days. He did nonstop recording and editing for like 14 hours of work for Tuesday to Thursday of this week. So I know he's been exhausted, but it is, I don't know. It is what it is. We all know Omar has been incapacitated by these three sinister looking characters. Let's see. Good evening, Munin. I hope you are doing well. Missed the live stream the other day. Have to watch that after this one. Tomb of Dracula hasn't been fully masterwork so far. Is that the case?
I don't think
They're
they've done
one volume away. They're one volume away
Yeah.
from completing the whole series, which will never happen because the Masterworks got canceled, unfortunately. But it is all available in thick size complete collections, so you could get that instead if you can find those. And hopefully it'll come to Epic collections soon enough.
At some point, so Kurtis can do him and add him to his bookshelf.
I mean, I have those complete collections already, but I will definitely replace them with Epics.
Woo! Good morning to you, Lance. Yeah, some of them Uncanny X-Men Volume 5 has them, but not the Mutant Massacre Prelude. Yeah, I mean the X-Men ones are hit or miss too. Like some of them do have them, some of them just don't. Again, I think it might be just pick and choice from any of those. Best place to find out of print Epic collections. Thank you for the super chat, Tales from the Source.
eBay.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one because there's no like singular best place to find out of print Epic collections. You have to do your hunting. You have to find the comic shops that that bought them and they've just been sitting on their shelves for a while, um, or I don't know, set up your eBay searches and whatnot. But there's no great source. I mean, part of it is that there are just so many epic collections. We're talking like 400 of them, right? 450. So it's like there's no one place that's going to keep all these things in stock. There's not even a place that's going to keep like a quarter of them in stock. It's just there's too much. So you have to hunt around.
Good stuff. Yeah, it is difficult trying to find some of those tales from the source. And I know for a fact that like I know for some of them, like once they're out of print, it's like, where can you get them, right? But yes, I know that we have a couple of Facebook groups that James could probably link that might be able to help you out. Some people are like super willing to part ways with them. But again, it's yeah, once it's out, like it is super difficult indeed to find it. Thank you for another super chat, Patel. Is collecting omnis over keys about money for you guys?
Yeah, well, that's how it started. I was collecting single issues ever since I was a kid. And I think around the time Absolute Carnage came out, I bought the Omni. And an epiphany just bonked me over the head. And I went, hang on a minute. I'm struggling to be able to keep up financially with single issues as well as whatever collected editions I want to buy at the time. And I said, why don't I just stop buying single issues, sign up for Marvel Unlimited and read everything new that way, and only buy collected editions moving forward. And that's what I started doing.
When I was a kid, collecting comics, collecting single issues, the word key issue wasn't a regular thing, and so we never really paid mind to that. And I remember when Marvel started doing all of their fancy covers and really bumping up, here's the first issue, and I was like, yeah, this is really cool, because it's the first issue. You feel special getting on the ground floor. It wasn't about because it was a key or going to be worth anything. It was because it was like, this is kind of special. And it was all, of course, Marvel fake manufactured special. And I remember I bought Generation X. So I was given Generation X #1 as a gift, and because that one had, this was 1994, because that one had a special chromium cover, wraparound cover. It felt really, really cool. I'm like, I'm gonna get more #1s, and I think I got like Kazar #1 and Heroes for Hire #1. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm spending too much money on these comics I don't care about. So it's like, and back then the comics were only like a $1.50 or $2 or whatever. But I was like, not worth it. So it, and collecting the epics as well. It's like any of these books that I have on my shelf, it's never been about their resale value. In fact, when I do go to resell them, I'm usually underpricing because I don't do the proper research to find out what the actual value is. I just stick it up. But it's 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 all about the content or the book or the collection itself for me. It's not about keys and it's not about money either.
Yeah.
I'm thankful enough at least in my life, to have had a lot of people like my cousin and my uncle give me trade paperbacks. I guess in the experience of, me growing up and reading comics. And when I got to college, it was finally like, hey, could I see, what the single issues that consist or that are consisted and, eventually collected in those trade paperbacks. So for me, it's more so about the story, because that's just what I've been given as a kid, as a teenager. And yeah, just continuing on. I mean, that's the main one for me. But great question indeed.
And it's funny that you bring up this sort of information that you're not privy to. When you've been collecting comics your entire life, you think you know it all, right? But there's all these little pockets of collectors that you don't even know exist. And I remember when I first went to sell all my comics, to me, every single issue, apart from your keys, every single issue was really the same. And a guy came over to buy my books, and he's going through all my Spider-Mans, and he's going, "Oh, this is a cool J. Scott Campbell cover. Oh, this is a cool this cover." And I'm looking at him going, "A J what cover?" And he's going, "Oh, these are going to be worth more because of the artists." And I'm like, what do you want about? You know, I had no idea about artists and the value of comics just because of those artists.
For sure, I agree. Is there any chance that they'd ever release Charles Soule She-Hulk in oversized format, like Dan Slott, Peter David, John Byrne? I have trade size, but I'd love to have an oversized on my shelf. With the Rainbow Rowell She-Hulk Omni on its way, I can see them combining Souls and Mariko Tamaki She-Hulk into one, considering that we have complete collections of those. But yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned, obviously. What's your most wanted DC finest? Would personally want a DC finest for Carrie Bates Captain Atom. Besides all the Batman ones that have been coming out, I would love to get a Legion of Superheroes by Paul Levitz DC finest at some point.
Yeah, that would be good. I am interested in that. I'm so unfamiliar with the general DC universe, so it's hard to say. I think I would like yeah, I gotta think about that. I know that a compendium just came out, but I kind of want the 90s Robin DC finest.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool. Yep. Anything that really falls in that either just before Crisis or just after Crisis, I think that's the area that I'm most interested in general. Those Batman volumes have been so good.
I love them,
I've
man.
loved them so much.
Dog Mensch Batman's good. What about you, Beau?
Dude, DC, no idea. If it's not Green Lantern and it's not Superman, I'm not really that interested. So,
okay,
don't know, man. Then there's some Batman I'll read. There's some other things, but I'm all about Green Lantern and Superman for me.
Okay. Let's see. Dom Omnibus Kurtis, who is your favorite Marvel or DC character, and is there an artist that hasn't drawn that character that you would love to see draw one day? Mine is Spider-Man and Dan Mora.
Wow. Oh. You go first, Curtis.
Okay, so I really those of you who know me know that I love Generation X, and one of my favorite characters in there, just especially visually, is Chamber. He just looks so cool, and I like his attitude, and I think that people don't really know what to do with the character himself. He's doesn't really get very good story arcs. I would love to see him drawn by Pepe Larraz, who is my favorite modern Marvel artist currently. And I don't, maybe he has, I don't know, because he doesn't show up very much. But he was during the the whole Krakoa era. He was in New Mutants for a little bit, which was Phil Noto, I think, and then kind of disappeared. And he was recently in that X-Men book with a bunch of mercenaries or something like that. I can't remember what it's called now. That lasted like
X-Men?
4 or 5 issues. Weapon X-Men, yeah, Weapon X-Men.
Weapon X-Men, yeah.
And that was a terrible book. I read the first couple of issues and I'm like, this is just awful. I'm not reading anymore. And I can't remember who drew that, but he drew a pretty good Chamber. But yeah, Pepe Larraz, I think I would like to see him do that.
So my go-to answer is always going to be Scarlet Spider. But if I want to get out of that and try to think of something else, well, then I'm not a huge Scotty Young fan, but I'd get a kick out of seeing a Dexter solo title done by Scotty Young. I reckon that'd be cool, but it would have to have a lot of blood from the Red Lanterns. I reckon that'd be good.
Okay, that's a fun choice. I'm gonna pick Damian Wayne as he's my current favorite Robin after years of me hating him. I would have to say if there was one artist somewhere who was drawn. I love what Hayden Sherman's doing on Absolute Wonder Woman and Batman Dark Patterns. I would love to see them draw Damian Wayne at some point. Curtis, when is the epic run of West Coast Avengers going to be wrapped up? Do we know?
I have no idea. I don't have any inside information on that, but I sure hope it's this year. They've been pretty consistent about giving us West Coast Avengers Epic Collections every year, and then for some reason they didn't give us one in 2025. So I'm hoping, and maybe we didn't get one. West Coast, yeah, we got West Coast Avengers 7 in 2024. So I'm sure hoping it's going to appear in the last half of 2026, because that would make the most sense to me. It's only got one more volume to wrap up the whole line, unless they want to fold in Force Works into this line as well. I think that would be a smart option, because literally it was just it was just a name change. It was the same story, same team, and it would sell better being called West Coast Avengers Epic Collection than being called Force Works Epic Collection.
Okay, well there you go. There is some thoughts from Kurtis. And more thoughts from Kurtis. What are your top 5 favorite epics? Thank you, John.
Man, I really should have a list going. I'd have to look to see. The ones that are off the top of my head are man, I don't even
Well, how would you, if somebody asks you that question, just like if someone did for me for Omnis, would you choose ones based on your favorite characters, or would it be your favorite stories? Or maybe a bit of both.
It would be favorite stories. It would be ones that I would be like, I put it down and like, I can't believe how good this was, regardless of the character. So actually, one of my favorite ones is probably actually Circle of Blood Punisher. I never cared at all about Punisher growing up until the Epic collections came out, and I read that one and Capital Punishment. I'm like, these are fantastic stories. I couldn't believe it. And I had ignored Punisher for so long. So yeah, my favorite epics aren't necessarily based on favorite characters. It's the impact that it has on me having read it, and that one definitely did. Um, I felt the same way after reading Ghosts of the Past, The Incredible Hulk, which is right in the middle of Peter David's run. Yeah, what else is there? Immortal Flesh by Thor. Immortal Flesh, that one was good. Man, there's just too many to. Under Siege, Avengers Under Siege is good. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if that's fine, but that's all I'm gonna pull out right now.
There we go. Interesting here from Patel. For me, I've always inspired to own the original copy, like ASM2 for the 60s. Omnibus or digital is about reading, but collecting, it's only about the OG for Patel. Thank you for the super chat once again. Let's see. Who would have known that the value of a comic drawn by the winner of Nintendo Power Create Your Own Video Game contest would be in that much demand?
What?
I don't know who that is.
We are. I think I can also say that there are some more DC announcements hopefully on the way soon. Right now, they are internally discussing some changes, but for updated contents on some books, they are still figuring that out, and we will have them out to you as soon as possible. Hey Dom, is there a Hawkman Omni overview coming up on the channel? Still undecided on the pickup. Yes, that is coming out next week on Wednesday.
That is literally one omnibus that I bought just because of what the spine looked like.
Wow. That's high praise.
Fantastic. I love the spine.
And this, I know that the previous omnibus printing was known for being it just the spine wouldn't break. So this one should have the spine actually being able to break, and you can read it through, Beau. Let's see. I cannot pick. Anyone know how I can get in touch with Brubaker to beg him for a Killer Be Killed Deluxe reprint?
Yeah, dude, don't even get me started about that one. I had a war with Amazon for like 8 months over that book, because all of a sudden they said they had them back in stock. Mm-hmm. So people started, it was just random. So people started buying them like myself. And then they weren't sending them and saying, no, they're not in stock. But then they'd be back in stock again. And it was just insane.
Mm. Yes, indeed. Hi. Good morning to you, Kratos. Maybe it was asked before, but how will these Something is Killing the Children omnibus released next week for the building? Is it like a finest or epic, worse than qual? So it is a. They're built more like the DC thinner. This is obviously not a thin compendium, but they're very much like a thinner DC compendium. Versus one of the the other hardcover books that you mentioned. So if you're into big thick compendiums, or if you're into smaller compendiums, that is something that you should look out for, I suppose. Bardic Grayson, all Robins need to have an 0800 number attached to them. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Dom, favorite Damian Wayne moment. Omnibus, favorite Scarlet Spider moment. And Kurtis, favorite Generation X moment.
Favorite Scarlet Spider moment. Where do I begin? Okay.
Well, do you have one in mind?
No, you go first, brother.
Okay. Well, so I bought Generation X off the shelves when it was first coming out, and so after issue 6, Chris Bichello left the book because he was going back over to DC to do another Death, like Sandman Death miniseries, and so we had a series of fill-in artists, and that book got delayed, so he never came back for over a year, and finally when he came back, I think it was issue 17. He does a fantastic issue with Scott Lobdell where the character Skin, takes on the Executioner all by himself, and it was like, and I was so excited for that, and it didn't disappoint, and I still love that one as one of my favorite issues of the whole series, because it is just a really fun issue.
All right. Can you guys hear people singing by any chance? We've got like a birthday happening somewhere in the street, so I just wanted to make sure. For me, I guess there was so many moments that I loved about Ben Reilly, but when it comes to one that really hits home for me, it is there are so many storylines where there's a clone and the clone becomes evil and takes over the other person's life, right? And I think that's what everybody was really scared of, that at some point Ben Reilly was going to do a heel turn and take over Peter Parker's life. And the most perfect opportunity presented itself when Peter Parker, not Spider-Man, but Peter Parker was arrested for murder, and he gets thrown in jail, and there's really nothing that he can do. And Ben Reilly had the perfect opportunity to just slip into Peter's shoes and just steal his life. And instead of doing that, he broke into the jail and told Peter to get out, and he will be Peter for him while Peter works out what's going on. And to me, that was just like, man, like, talk about being an ultimate hero. Like, that was just beautiful to me.
Okay. No, that's not a bad pick.
Yeah.
Man, there are a couple of good Damian Wayne ones. If you guys haven't yet, in the Nightwing Rebirth run, it's the third arc. Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne have a huge history together because, in Bruce's stead, because he was, I'll just say, not in Gotham at the present, they took over as the de facto Batman and Robin to protect Gotham. At the end of the third arc, it's issue 19, if my mind recalls correctly, there is this wonderful spread page where the two are just hanging out like older, younger brother. They're talking about like, hey, like, you kick butt back there. And it's just them flying down through Bloodhaven. It's a wonderful moment. So I think I'm going to have to pick that one for me. So yes. Kurtis, do you read epics out of order, or do you find other ways to read what isn't collected yet?
Oh, out of order. Absolutely. It doesn't matter to me to read from issue 1 moving forward, especially in the classic era where, when you jump in as a kid, I jumped in as a kid in the late 80s, early 90s, and of course there were no real great reprint collections at all. And so it's impossible to start at number 1. And so you just jump in. You just jump in and you're fine. And so same with epics. You can just pick one and you'll be fine. You'll get caught up to the story, no problem. And the only exception that I will say to that is a lot of the modern stuff is way more continuity dependent, because creators create the stories in a way different way now. So, for instance, I'll still read them out of order. Like Black Widow Volume 3 came out first, and so I read that one, and then Volume 1 came out, so I read that one after. And so like there's a perfect example right there. But Daredevil Modern Era Epic 5 came out, and Epic 6 came out, and Epic 5 isn't out yet, but it's coming out a little bit later, in a little while. So I've held off reading that volume because I know the one before it is coming very soon, and it's filling that hole in continuity. So that's the only real exception there. But otherwise, it doesn't matter. Nope, I'll just pick a random volume off the shelf and just read it.
Nice. I know for me, because all the DC Finest books are coming out, and I'm just reading them, whenever I get them sent my way.
Exactly.
I found a reason to not read any. Like, you don't need to read, I think, a lot of these in sequential order. Obviously, some of them, like I think, especially nowadays, because runs last a limited amount of time depending on who the creators are. And because things are more fleshed out, like therefore the trade paperback instead of one of these issues being a standalone. It's changed, I think, a lot of the perception of people that we have to start at number 1. But if you read any of the older material, especially for like DC before 1986, I mean, you can read any single one of these issues, jump on, and not even be bothered with, is there a set continuity with any of these, because they're all one and done stories, and they're all fashioned like that. So that is I think that's the best way I can answer the question. I recently bought the John Byrne Wonder Woman Omnibus. Hope you enjoy it. Thing 94. Let's see. Did you guys see the reveal of the Super Mario Brothers movie?
No,
It's the Galaxy movie.
My kids got up early to watch that Nintendo Direct, and then when I woke up, they were like, "Dad, check this out!" So yeah, I saw it. It's nice. I love that game. I loved Super Mario Galaxy when it came out on the Wii, and played it so much. And so I'm looking forward to see what they do with the movie.
Yeah, that was my childhood.
That they're making a movie of Super Mario Galaxy. Is that the sequel?
It's the sequel to the other Mario movie that just came out. They're just titling it. I kind of think they should have built up a little bit more to get to the galaxy. Like, let's have a Super Mario World movie first or something. But whatever.
I find it interesting that Rosalina is going to be introduced before Daisy will, and that to me feels wrong as a Mario fan. But again, that is just a me thing. Dom, how was the build of the Batman 66 Compendium? I have read through it a whole bunch of times, and that spine is as sturdy as the most stable steel bridge that you will find on planet Earth. So, kudos to DC.
Compendiums are doing really well these days, man. Like every compendium that I've bought in the last couple of years, they've really done them well.
Oh yeah, they have. They have. I know that, like, for a lot of people, like, obviously, like, I think I can't speak for. I don't think Kurtis is the same way, but I know that for us, Beau, like, we prefer the hardcovers because they're sturdy. We know that they won't break. I haven't had a compendium on me break, considering that I only have like 4 of these. They're the more like they're the newer ones, but they haven't killed me off yet. They haven't kiltered. So I have to give kudos to those guys. Yes, they did. So there was heard that the Batman 66 is not complete, missing the Avengers 60s crossover. So for those people who are in the unknown, Boom and DC Studios teamed up in the mid 2010s, and they put out a series called Batman 66 meets Steed and Mrs. Peel, which is the Avengers from the 60s. DC.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, it's a very, very super small book, but Michael Allred did the covers for the 6-issue series. DC does not have the rights to print out the book, though. That is why it is not in this 66 compendium, nor is it in the omnibus. So,
and I'm guessing it wouldn't be on digital either, like Marvel Unlimited or DC.
no.
What a shame.
It's not Marvel's Avengers.
Not Marvel Avengers.
There is a TV show in the 60s
Oh,
called
it's
The
that
Avengers.
Avengers.
It was not.
Yes, that Avengers.
It was
yeah.
not.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not even. Yeah, it's still a licensing issue because the Avengers, that old TV show, is still owned by I don't know what TV company or whatever. But yeah, they'd have to get licensing from Boom and from that TV company in order to include it in the compendium. And so I'm sure that that's just too expensive for their project there.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so to trivialize us, Newsbury Channel said J. Scott Campbell won a contest to Nintendo held to create your old video game and appeared in Nintendo Power #6 back in '89, well before his first official comic book art.
Interesting.
And, yeah, obviously Campbell, one of the engineers of the mid '90s, late '90s, and if you haven't yet, check out our interview with him and Scott Doombier on the artist edition of his upcoming Danger Girl Kickstarter. Let's see. Reading Epics and Finest is out of order. It's tons of fun, very liberating for your reading mentality.
I think so, and I think that if you can wrap your head around that, you'll also you won't be stuck on like not moving forward until you get that missing volume, especially with epics, because they're released out of order and there are holes. If you just read from number 1 to wherever and stop because that volume's not there, there's a potential that you'll just never get to the rest of those volumes. And then so having the mentality of being able to read them out of order really helps in just actually reading your books.
Holy crap, that would kill me. That would absolutely kill me, having those gaps.
Oh, for sure. If I may so clear. Beau loves Ben's evolution into.
I was gonna make that comment too, but then Beau, you went in a different direction, so I didn't.
We can't have Baja Blast Spider-Man.
Bad guy?
No
Look,
Baja
man,
Blast.
I was anything that they do to keep Ben Reilly in a storyline, I'm happy with, right? I don't want him to be forgotten about. But
you don't like Baja Blast Spider-Man?
Oh man, it just kills me, man. It kills me, you know. You've taken the greatest hero of all time. It's not just me saying it, others say it too. And you're making him a bad guy.
No Baja Blast Spider-Man for Beau indeed. Hello guys, read my first comic, the first volume of Dan Waters and Dexter Stoy's run. I really enjoyed it. I love that. I love the current run of Nightwing, man. It is one of my favorite. I know a lot of people here love the Tom Taylor run, but dude, for me, man, Dan Waters is absolutely killing it on every single book he has over at DC. So I'm glad that you are enjoying it. Super Mario Galaxy is my most nostalgic Mario game, so I may have to watch that one. Have not watched the first one. Yeah, Super Mario Galaxy was the first video game that I ever 100% completed. Yeah, it holds a lot of memories for you too, man. I remember when I went over to my friend's house. This was back when I think I was like 11 years old, and his mom was babysitting me, I guess, for some whatever reason. There were other friends who went over to his house as well, and they brought their copies of, their video games, including Mario Galaxy. And as all of us three and some of you guys in the chat may know, the storages for your video games don't like when you bring a disc over to somebody else's household, if they don't have Mario Galaxy, you're going to start off a new game. And when I put in the game, they were like, did you delete our save information? We're going to kill you. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. So I almost got punched that day because people didn't know how people didn't know how save files worked, transferred over, but that is what it is. My copy of DC Finest Horror, The Devil's Doorway, was just delivered to my door as we speak. Looks great. I want many more horror collections. I will say one of my favorite things in this specific DC Finest so far, Dana. Hope you're doing well. There are little like itty bitty strips called Kane's Game Room where they're just silent, funny panels by Sergio Aragonis, who I actually didn't realize was working for this long in comics, and they are hilarious and they are also creepy as heck. So there's a lot. There's definitely a
Awesome.
lot to love. Yeah, definitely a lot
I
to
love
love.
Sergio. He's one of my favorites.
He's a good creator, man. Can't say no to his comic strips at all. Let me see. Any Metroid fans up in here?
Oh, jeez. Well, long time ago. Long time ago. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
My wife is a huge Metroid fan, and she plays all of the games. And so again, with the Nintendo Direct, when my kids were watching that, there was a Metroid little
Mhm.
teaser in there as well. And so they came after they finished with me with Super Mario Galaxy. They went over to her and like, check this out. So they'll be playing through that game, I'm sure, when it comes out.
Yep. December 13th or 4th. December 4th or 13th. I don't remember which one. Will be the release date for Metroid. I cannot wait for it. I haven't played Metroid in a while. I'm just trying to get back into the light of things with Nintendo. So we shall have to see. I lost it, but oh yeah, that is right. It is Cosmo Shop time, and if you want one of the art books for Metroid, I'm sure that one of those comic book publishers have it in stock. You can check out our friends over at BD Cosmos over in Canada. If you live in Canada and you want to read some comics, you can check our folks out at Cosmo. I curses me, I completely forgot the tingle. But if you do tell us or if you do tell them that we sent you, you will be able to join a raffle. And free shipping for $250 or more at any spot in Canada. BD Cosmos with something loyal, exceptional customer service. Somebody do that.
Hey,
Okay, good enough. Good enough for me indeed. Let's see. Do you guys, thank you for the super chat on Supplemental Bar. Do you guys collect other physical media?
I used to. I used to collect Marvel Legends when those figures first started up, and I've sold all of them off by now. But I still have a complete collection of the Muppets figures from Palisades. I
wow.
loved those ones. Um, but I used to collect DVDs and I stopped before Blu-rays became a thing, and used to collect CDs and stuff. So, but books are really the only physical media these days that I keep up with.
I have too much. I used to collect DVDs, and I used to have walls and walls and walls of them. Where now I've just got one bookshelf because I got rid of a lot. I've just started getting into some Marvel Legends, but I'm being very selective of which ones I'm buying.
Yeah.
Because I have a villains room, which is this room, and then I've got a heroes room. I do like to have one sort of representation of every character somehow. So there's a few bits and bobs that I do like to buy, like the Wolverine Legends mask that's just coming out. I just pre-ordered that. And the next thing I want to get is a giant full Captain America shield.
Nice.
Okay.
Awesome.
There are two, I guess, if you want to even call it that, bar physical anything that I collect. I buy LeBron James jerseys whenever a new Lakers jersey style drops. I always try to get one of LeBron, although I think that may change with Luka Doncic now being a Los Angeles Laker. And I also get whatever Pokemon and Mario games come out, if that counts. But I think that's it, because unfortunately these books are very expensive. The people keep asking, like, Dom, you need to like decorate your studio more, and I'm like, if I had more money, I would, man. It's not cheap living in California. That's what I will say.
You don't need money. Just get a poster and put it behind you.
That's Jim Lee signed the map to the DC multiverse for me when I met him. One of the many things he signed, and I still need to get a frame, put it up behind me.
Well, then in the meantime, just draw up Aussie is for life behind you.
That's right. I gotta hang it. Okay, that's smart.
Do I have to do all the thinking here?
That's me overthinking 100%. Oh, but it is what it is. Okay, hello, everybody. Great to see DC continuing the Silver Age line with Wonder Woman. Has anyone heard if more Batman or Superman Silver Age omnibuses are planned? Check in the net. They are planning in a lot of things, J.R. Simpson. Not in this catalog, but future ones, absolutely. I will say I was bummed out that there were no baseball Mario games. It was tennis again for the upcoming Mario Sports things. It is what it is.
I really like Super Mario Strikers for GameCube. That when that game came out, my friends and I, we just had such a blast playing that one. That's a soccer one, Mario Soccer.
And now it's available if you have Nintendo Switch Online. It should be available on the GameCube emulator. So
nice.
Another question for Kurtis is it the book design that makes modern epics more expensive than Ultimate ones? Both are reskin complete collections.
Yeah, so actually they're the same price. They're not the modern epics are not more expensive. They're not even more expensive than the classic epics. It's all based on the page count, and so the more pages it has, the more expensive it gets. But they all fall in the same pricing brackets.
Hello, indeed. Okay. Let's see what happened to Omar. Good morning to you, Axel Plates. No, he's gone for because of a Freudian slip. Yeah, he is gone for 10 months. He's gone for 10 months, and we have to figure out how we're going to adjust in the meantime that he's gone. So
don't tell me he said that.
Subscribes are going to go way down.
So there, indeed. No, I'm joking. Omar is he's currently rounding his abouts in the Netherlands, and I know that he wants to tour a couple of the Low Countries in West Europe, and he will be he will be here next week on Saturday with Walt and Christian Ward and a couple of other people as well for the Saturday morning stream. What is a better starting point, Stern ASM or Michelini ASM?
Oh man,
better starting point. I mean, they're both
they're a great starting point.
They're both great. Yeah, I think
I'd probably say Stern, but just by a fraction, like only because
I think I'd say Stern as well.
I like Stern's run a tad bit more than Michelini's, so I'd say Stern. That is my pick. Speaking of Sergio, we desperately need a DC Finest volume of plot. That would be so cool if they ever did that. I don't know if they would, but considering that we have the Super Friends DC Finest coming out in a couple of months, I will never say never to anything that they decide to put out. Any word on getting a Generation X omnibus? Not in the near while, but maybe perhaps in the future.
It is funny though, because I've noticed with Marvel Unlimited, when they do announce a new Omni like the NAM, for example, all of a sudden they'll start putting on the NAM issues on Marvel Unlimited. And I noticed that they just recently popped in a whole bunch of Generation X issues. So I thought, did I miss an announcement?
No, so the reason why they do that is because none of those issues are scanned yet, and so when they so nothing that isn't scanned already or isn't in their files, master files, is not on Marvel Unlimited. So they had not made digital files of those Generation X issues, but this Generation X Epic Collection is coming out next week. And so these are the issues that you're seeing pop up on Unlimited now because they now have digital files for them. And same with the NAM. None of those digital files were available before. So now that they've made the Omni, they can put it on Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for the insight on that, Kurtis. Fat Yeti, hope you're doing well. Any chance I could get the panel's top few Wonder Woman runs, the best way to read them?
I'm out of this
Well,
conversation.
I've read so little Wonder Woman, but I can say that the one book that I've read is DC Finest Wonder Woman. So by default, that's going to be my favorite. It's also my least favorite.
Hmm. If I had to pick a favorite run, the Greg Rucka Wonder Woman Omnibus just came out, and those are specifically the years right before Infinite Crisis hits, when I will just say, because of Infinite Crisis, Wonder Woman gets displaced in the DC universe. But before that happens, Greg Rucka wrote an excellent run of hers that I had previously in complete collection type format. It's still my favorite Wonder Woman run to this day. If you held a gun to my head, it would definitely be that one. But there are plenty of other Wonder Woman runs that you should read as well. Phil Jimenez, if you want something wordy. George Perez's I like. DC Finest.
I really liked.
Yeah, for sure. DC also put out in DC Finest form the DC Finest Legend of Wonder Woman, which are all the issues right before George Perez's run in 1987. So if you want to read everything of hers, like right up to the lead up of Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I know that I had a lot of fun enjoying it. I would definitely recommend that one as well. So hopefully that answers your question, Fat Yeti. Let me see. I cannot move into rewards and raffles. Oh, that's right. Listen, there are so many jingles here that it's hard to. I know we only have 3, but 3 jingles is still too much for my poor mind to remember. In my honest.
Hey, last time you sent me one and I sang it for you. I don't remember which one it was.
I might send another one here, depending on. You know what? I will have one of you guys doing. Well, we're gonna be doing a jingle in about 10ish minutes. So,
You can remember the release dates of like everything coming out in the next 8 months, but you can't keep the little jingles in your head. 3 of them.
no, it's like, it's like 15 words as opposed to 1,500 release dates. It's like pick your poison. It is what it is. Yeah, Omar said that the colors on several issues of Generation X had to be remastered before they made an omnibus. I mean that is
A lot of the there I was going to make this exact comment just now. So this is exactly it. It was from the early days of computer coloring in comics, and the tech wasn't great, and replicating the colors in epics created some issues with their quality. Yeah, so it comes down to how these files were stored. There's no real great way of storing the digital files back then, and a lot of the actual film negatives have either gone missing or damaged in the years since then. So there's a good chunk of that stuff around 1994, 1995, and not just with Marvel, but for many different comic companies, where just the actual files that they have need to be heavily remastered. And if you think about like for color printing, like the 1960s stuff where it's all flat colors, you can go into Photoshop and you can just strip away those colors, no problem, and then you can use your paint bucket. This is an oversimplification of restoration, but you can fill in those areas where it's just flat colors, and it's a fairly straightforward process. But trying to restore digital coloring, especially that early digital coloring from scratch with gradients and the very, very specific way that digital coloring looked in the 90s, is a way more complicated thing. So they have to put a lot more care and attention into bringing those up to masterwork quality or omnibus quality. Otherwise, it's going to just not look great.
Thank you for the insight on the. Yeah, I mean, you can tell, like, especially in those 90s. When I'll just say that when I was younger, because I didn't know how to read a lot, like some of those 90s comics, I'll just say that some of those scans, when they go up on I'll just say nefarious websites, they don't look as great as it will. Again, this was me when I was a late teen. Do not kill me in the chat, guys. I would love a Mario basketball game too, Disney. We haven't had one since the DS. I really enjoyed that DS game. Man, I feel old. Holy smokes.
What was that one called? I didn't even know there was a
Yeah, Mario Hoops.
Mario Hoops. Okay.
Mario Hoops on the DS. The way that it was a 3-on-3 basketball game, and you had to there were coin boxes that were on the basketball court, and to score points, you had to dribble on those coin boxes. And then obviously the more you dribble with the coin boxes, the more points that you can make. Very complicated indeed. Why didn't anyone warn me that in the stern omnibuses, the spectacular issues are a slog until you get to the amazing issues? Nobody talks about this, so I was beginning to think that the Omni was a little bit overrated.
No one talks about it because you're wrong.
Oh my gosh, I get it, Logan, but yeah, I mean, you're there, you want to be there for the spectacular, but you're there for the amazing issues. That's how I would word it. So yes, it is what it is. What's a technigoly, Josh? I know what technology is, but what's a technigoly?
Mate, he's an artist, okay? He doesn't know. I know he writes as well, but it's complicated when you're doing it on a keyboard for some writers.
I know. It's like I gotta do the boop 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 beep beep beep. If I was a robot, I would be able to do it. Yeah, let's see. Have John do it for. See, I wouldn't be opposed to John doing. I mean, we would just need a video that we could play on. I mean, it's not that hard to do in StreamYard.
And go check out his Kickstarter that's going on right now. Good old Josh Greathouse. Bang, The Ballad of the Tiger, volume number 3. Let's get it across that line.
Yes, indeed. And if you would also like to support our wonderful friend Josh, and also to support us, we did an interview with Josh not too long ago to learn more about the way that he is influenced by manga, amongst other different many styles, to push out his book.
But before watching that one, check out Josh Greathouse on Aussieverse, where he talked about exactly the same thing, but in a better way.
In a better way, indeed. Yes, Aussieverse indeed. Let me see. Kurtis, do you think we see other publishers re-upload their comics to Webtoon? Invincible and Spawn could benefit from that market.
I mean, any way that you can get comics out there and make some money from it would be a worthwhile way to do it. I mean, if people should try. People should definitely try. They're expanding your market and expanding your reach is always a thing that publishers should do. The print market is finding it difficult to keep up with costs and stuff. So, and a lot more people are turning to digital. So, making it more available in ways that are not those nefarious websites is probably worth checking out. Absolutely.
Nefarious. I think I have just included a brand new adjective into the vernacular. So many people alike. Our Omni is the best way to read comics, and Absolute's the best way to collect them if you end up liking the reading. What do you guys think?
Oh man, Kurtis, you want to go first?
This is the right answer right here. Epic collection. Come on, man. The Omnis, really?
Yeah, look, Omnis are the best looking way to collect comics, in my opinion. The best looking way. When it comes to reading them, you know, I want to stand by my Omnis, but they're not for everybody, you know. So I would have to say that generally speaking, Kurtis is probably right. Epic collections or things that are more digestible, you know. But if you're a skinny person like me and you do want to put on muscle, omnibuses are a great way to go too.
Good answer. I think I have a new favorite way of collecting things, and just like Kurtis, it's got a nice tone to it. It honestly depends. Like Absolutes, I look at them as, if you love the art, and if you want to see that specific art and story blown up to its most giant proportion, that is the way that I would recommend. It's definitely a lot more niche than the Omnibus, because there are a lot of absolutes there. Like, for example, Justice League Origin by Jim Lee and Jeff Johns. I know a lot of people would probably get more of a kick out of getting the Omnibus or even the brand new, like, complete collection type books that they're publishing. Absolutes, I think, are, even though I love them, I would say that if you are trying to collect everything, like, that should probably be last on your list, because they are expensive. And I think they're only do it for the specific books that you like, love, and want in that specific format, or else you will go broke. Is what I have found.
Yeah, I think that there's it definitely depends on what kind of collector you are and what kind of reader you are, and there's definitely benefit from collecting 40 plus issues all in one book. And if that's the way that you want to go, then more power to you. I poke fun at the Omni versus Epic thing, but really, like, if that's your thing, then go for it. And then there's no shame in it.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, not indeed. And one quick thing, and then we will get to another. The Hawkman DC Finest doesn't match the Archive edition, where either or both recolored. It does say on the back of the book, at least for the specific Hawkman one, that they did redo. They'd remaster a lot of the colors in that specific Hawkman book to, formulate the best possible experience for those who might
Not
want
all
to
of
get it.
them,
Yeah, not all of them.
because
No.
my friend Phil Owens sent me a couple of pictures of scans from the original comics, and the colors in some cases are 100% different.
Mhm.
And because those early archive editions that came out, like in the 80s and such, didn't adhere to, and Masterworks were the same way. They didn't adhere to the actual original comic coloring, and so the DC Finest is their budget, their budget line of books, and they don't, if they can help it, they don't um, put any new work into them. And so the digital files they had on hand for Hawkman were the same as the ones from the archive edition for the most part. So they just used those ones. So in a lot of the cases, and in some of the cases, the coloring does not match up with the original comics.
Yes, indeed. And if you may, Kurtis, if you would like to tell our folks where they can get them if they live in Europe, said something in the chat. If you could do the jingle.
Oh man, I have no idea what the jingle is, and because every time I'm on a stream, no one finishes the jingle. So I don't even know what the jingle is. But Walt's Comics is the place to go for your European comic collecting needs. I know there's a ting at the end, but that's about it.
Oh
Can
my
we
gosh.
record that and play that every week now? That was a great promo for Waltz. I loved it.
James, clip that. We're gonna be using it future
I
streams.
know there's
maybe.
a ting at the end.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, if you do live in Europe and you want books and you also want to get a chance to learn more about Walt and also Omar, check out our friends over at Walt's Comic Shop. They got cheap pre-order prices for Marvel and DC. 12 euros for all your books. Excellent customer service, excellent packaging, excellent excellence, including, in fact. If you want those DC finest and even an assortment of out-of-print books, check them out at Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and collected editions in Europe. Ding! Man, even with
Hey,
the
there
down
you
voice,
go.
I
Nice,
can.
very good.
Yes, sir. Well, yes. Are there DC Epic collections? Even though our chat has answered this, yes. They technically, DC has said they feel a lot more like showcases, but they are doing this thing called DC Finest. They are, if you live in the US, $40. If you live in Canada, $54, where they are 500 to 600-ish page books that collect a certain portion of that genre, character, or franchise's specific stories, all wonderfully read and packaged into a nice, complete collection. I do also notice absolutes normally miss things that omnis have, like they don't have the full story. The They only collect that specific portion of the story. For example, like again, Justice League Origin, you're only going to be getting the first couple or so issues there because that's specifically what they only want to collect. Omnibuses more tend because complete, right? Complete, if you want to even call it that. They tend to focus on the broader aspect, whereas absolutes just focus on that specific part of that run or of that storyline that they are collecting. But again, they all depend. What are your guys' most anticipated collected editions for the rest of 2025?
Oh, all right. You go first, Kurtis. I'm gonna pull out my list.
Ooh.
Yeah, me too. For the rest of 2025, let's see. I'm really looking forward to the next Annihilation Epic Collection because the first one came out and it had all of the build up, but that second volume actually has the story, which I've never read and I'm really interested in seeing. So looking forward to that. There's a third Aliens Epic Collection coming out in October. I'm really looking forward to that one as well. And let me see what else is coming out here. X-Men Wounded Wolf. X-Men Epic Collection. I'm really looking forward to that one too. Some more Chris Claremont in a really good era of his run. That's probably the biggest ones there that I'm looking forward to.
Okay. How big is the list, Beau? I gotta hear it. We gotta hear it.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. So this is everything that hasn't arrived yet. Because I know that the first few of these people are going to be like, oh, they've already come out, but not for me. So for the rest of the year, let's start with, all right, we've got Captain America by Mark Grunwald, volume number 2, the Amazing Spider-Man by Michelini and Bagley, volume number 2, Agent Van Omnibus, X Factor, volume number 4, Spectacular Spider-Man by DeMatteis, Symbiote Spider-Man, Namor Omnibus, Spider-Man Gang War, Aliens versus Avengers. Looking forward to that one. The Nam Omnibus, Criminal Knives, which is a new criminal book. X-Men Blue and Gold, Mutant Genesis, DC crossover with Sonic. That should be fun. Thor Omni Volume number 5. 4 Kids Walk into a Bank is coming out in a trade paperback. We have Scooby Apocalypse Phoenix Volume number 3. Deadpool Batman one shot. I know it's a single issue, but tell me you're not going to buy that one. Doctor Strange by Jed McKay. The Superman Triangle Years Volume number 2. Predator versus Spider-Man. Ice Cream Man's coming out in a card game, but it's going to be a comic. It's going to be very original, and it's going to be really, really cool. Godzilla versus Marvel. Danny Ketch Ghost Rider Volume number 2. Death of Captain Marvel Omnibus. Transformers Compendium Volume 2. He-Man and Ninja Turtles. Shield by Hickman. Superman, the Manga box set. Green Lantern by Robert Venditti. Universal Monsters keep coming out with more hardcovers, and I'm up to November, so I'll stop there.
That's a good pick,
Wow.
man. That's a lot of bookies.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I know that the ones I'm super excited for this month, and the only ones I'm planning on buying this month are the Blue and Gold Mutant Genesis Omnibus and the Dawn of X Omnis. I either gave away or sold my Krakoa oversized hardcovers / omnibuses of that era, except for the Jonathan Hickman X-Men omnibus, because I have a Hickman shelf and I need to attune it specifically to a Hickman shelf. I am very, very excited for Rook Exodus to come out in the deluxe edition. There is there's a Spectre DC Finest that's coming out soon, called Wrath of the Spectre. I think it's next week that I'm super excited for. I am incredibly excited for the Green Lantern Rebirth Compendium that is coming out later this year. That's going to have everything in a beautifully and wonderfully done reading order that I've been able to help out with DC. Also, yeah, I think those are my big ones for the rest of the year, Richard. Yes, indeed. Let's see. What separates a DC Finest versus a deluxe?
It's soft cover. Deluxes are hardcover, right? Deluxes typically will do just a portion of a run, Like they're more story or creator focused, whereas DC Finest, the goal of them, they say, is to reprint everything from #1 all the way to, well, at this point, like 2011, which is like 70 years of comic history in some cases. So it's
Okay.
got different mandates.
Yeah, 100%. Amelia, good morning to you. Dom, I'm loving your DC Finest reviews. If they let you choose what would be released next, what titles and issues would you choose? Honestly, I'd pick. Oh, they're already doing this in Omnibus, but I'd love the beginning of Batman Bronze Age and DC Finest. Pick out those, early, like Detective Comics 393, Batman 217, just like move on forward. I'd love Mark Waid's second stint on Legion of Superheroes that started in 2004. That hasn't been properly collected, and I would love to see him and Barry Kitson obviously joining him. On the rest, I'd love to see that in DC Finest at some point. I'm really excited that they're putting out, the start of the Triangle era years in DC Finest with next year in Superman. But I'd like a Kurt Busiek Superman DC Finest or that era at some point too. So if you had a gun to my head, I think those would be the books that I would like next. John is filming at
people are saying I didn't actually answer the question for the anticipated one. So you know what I'm going to throw out there? I never double dip ever, but I've double dipped this year with the Death of Superman Absolute Edition, and I've gone for that low. They've got like the Grave, case one. That's a low allocation, which I don't know how everybody's going to get a copy of that. And
it's only 1993 copies.
I'm really hoping I get one because I paid for it.
And so that's been an omnibus already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
When they have it in omnibus, do they actually put the gatefolds out? Do they put those in the book as well? That's fantastic.
Yeah, not in the
first... that made that book so special with those gatefolds out. It would be a shame to shrink them down to like try and fit in the page.
Yeah. In the original omnibus, they didn't do it, but then I think with the second and third printings of it, where they changed it up, they did add the gatefold cover. So you'd have to think they're going to do it in the absolute, right?
It shows that they appreciate their fans, because that's an added cost. Like it's not just adding another like a bigger page or whatever, because the setup is completely different. For both the people doing the layouts and the people doing the printing, like it's not just a matter of slipping another page in there. So the fact that they did that is really great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, it is indeed. Yeah, I can't wait for that absolute when it comes out. It looks incredibly cool. I'll probably never be able to get one, but it does look incredibly cool. Let's see if I can. I'm trying, John. I'm trying. They're hard. I'm down in the weather.
3 tings.
Which
one gets 3 tings?
The Waltz Comic Shop one.
I did the hands though, if you rewind. So you're all good on that.
He did, yeah. See, we're covered.
You know what? I'm gonna have to try and learn these jingles, and I'll record a little video for you.
Yay! No purple Batman gloves, no deal. Apparently, though.
That's for original colors, restoration of original colors.
Indeed. Do you own any omnibuses, Kurtis? Good morning to you, Eric.
So I will say that I am not opposed to big books. That I'm like, if that's how the material is presented, then I will get that. I do have these 2 omnis right here, and DC Marvel versus DC and Amalgam if you want that. But then I also have a huge collection of these Library of American comics. Like all of these are huge books. They're massive. And so like and these ones I made myself. So it's like I'm not opposed to huge books. They're just I just prefer if there's an option for epic collections, then that's usually how I'll go. But if Muppet Babies is only going to be in an omnibus, then I guess that's what I'm going to get.
I love how you have Muppet Babies as one of your 4. That's amazing.
It's so cute.
I love the Muppets. Yeah.
They are good.
I think I've only got like 3 Epic collections, and they're all Avengers.
But there you go.
fill
See,
those
look at
gaps,
that.
right?
There's a good cross gap between those.
Oh man, I hate myself for never getting on the Spider-Man Epic Collection bandwagon, because all I've ever wanted is Spider-Man in collected editions, right?
Mhm.
And I stupidly thought omnibuses would be the way, but no, if you want it all and you want it now, at least compared to what you can get in omnibuses, I think Epic Collections are the
Mhm.
way.
Yeah, I might have to dip in at some point because I have Spider-Verse, I've got Slot Superior, I have Stearns and Omnibus as somebody gifted to me, and that's it. That's all I have for Spidey in collected edition. I feel so sad. I was too late on the JM DeMatteis Sal Buscema Spectacular Omni. I really wanted
I
that
can't
one.
wait to get that in my hands. I cannot wait to get
Mm.
that in my
Yes, indeed. Kurtis, any news on the Clover Press Spider-Man newspaper strips? Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, so I am currently building that Kickstarter right now, in the middle of that, and it should be launching within a few weeks. I'm not exactly sure what the date is on that, but we'll be releasing 4 volumes of the newspaper, the first 4 years of the newspaper volumes in 4 volumes. That's the John Lee and John Romita, sorry, Stan Lee and John Romita years of the Spider-Man newspaper strip. 4 volumes. They're soft cover. They're going to come in slipcases. Like vertical top loading slipcases, so you can put them on your shelf and it's not going to stick out weird. And so yeah, the
yes.
Kickstarter for that's is gonna hit within the next few weeks. So keep an eye on that. You can sign up on Kickstarter for notifications if you want to know as soon as we launch.
The,
Oh yeah, I'll do it right now.
can't wait for the John Lee and Stan Romita Senior
That's
comic
so funny.
strips to come out.
John
Coming in.
Lee.
John Lee and Stan Romita. Did Omar bite Beau? Double dipping death of Superman is spreading.
Yes, and I don't think that's got anything to do with it.
Yeah. Heading out to see Demon Slayer Infinity Castle in a few hours, $65 million to $80 million weekend, biggest anime opening in America history. My brother was
Oh.
at the premiere last night. Well, not
Wow.
premiere, but like opening night, if you want to call it that.
Wow, I had no idea it was that popular. That's amazing.
It seems like everybody that I know in my younger brother's generation is infatuated with anime, and I am very surprised at those numbers. But that is really cool to hear.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, yeah, the 2022 Death of Returns got a gatefold, and I'm assuming that the Triangle era years Omnis will also have that gatefold too, which is super.
Wonder if they'll
super
put it in the epic. I mean, the DC Finest. I wonder if they'll put it in that when they get around to that. Hey, thanks for the link, James.
Of course, James always on it, first up at hand. Things ain't what they used to be. Well, Omar will. Well, Walt might get to do it next week, Phil, because he is doing the stream next week. So, we will get the final authority from him. Let's see. Hey, Muppet Babies has the Michael Jackson issue of Baby Kermit moonwalking with MJ's globe.
That's right.
Hate that I didn't know those. Terry, the pirate crew issue. Yeah, we're oversized.
Okay. Yeah, these are big books. This is a massive collection. It's not heavy like an omnibus because it's only like 100 and something pages. But yeah, really, really nice. We were able to use Milton Caniff's actual syndicate proof sheets. Like he had a collection of them that were buried in the cartoon research, or like the Billy Ireland Museum and archive, and they were uncovered recently. So beautiful printer quality proof sheets that like all of the line quality is fantastic. The colors are just amazing, and this is one of the greatest comics of all time right here, Terry and the Pirates. So Josh, I saw one of your other comments. It's like, if I don't like the big books, how come I'm not pushing for epic size Tearing the Pirates? But I am. I'm trying to get them to do soft cover versions of this in a more standard size at a bit, because these are $100 books, right? So at a better price point for more readers. And we have Dick Tracy volumes on Backer Kit right now, and then the Spider-Man ones are coming on Kickstarter. So if these ones do well for us, which I'm pretty sure that they will, Dick Tracy's doing very well for us so far. I'm trying to convince them to go for Tearing the Pirates for this route in the same fashion as well, and I think they'll sell just fine.
Big books
If you
for
haven't
big
checked
people.
out Tearing the Pirates, it's one of the best comics of all time.
Can you explain, like, I don't know if it's an easy answer, but why?
Why is it? Okay, so
Yeah.
this comic strip, this comic strip ran from 1934 to 1945, and or 1947. I can't remember. It was, yeah, it had about a 10 or 12 year run in newspapers, and this was back in the golden age of comic books. There were two major ways you could read comics. They were in the newspapers, where you get one strip per day in the newspaper. Like,
Yeah.
this would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on Sunday you get a full color one. And so the comic strip artists, the comic strips were more popular than comic books at the time, and they had some of their top talent doing comic strips. Milton Caniff is one of the masters and legends that influenced the entire medium in adventure and fantasy comics. And this comic strip is about these guys, two people, one of them's right here, who just have adventures overseas in China, and um, eventually, because it goes over the war years, the comic strip also gets involved in the global conflict as well, and um and so the story is exciting, the pacing, and just all of the conventions that Milton Caniff used in this became industry standard for the way that you do adventure storytelling, and not just for comic books, but for film, for movies. He basically revolutionized the way storyboards work for movies, because people saw him do it in comic strips and said, "That's how I'm going to lay out my film." And it's just exciting, the whole story. There's very little downtime. It's just day to day captivating, really exciting the whole time. So there
Sweet.
you go. That's my, in a nutshell, review of Tearing the Pirates and why I like it so much.
I'd always heard of it, but I didn't actually know about it. I've never read it myself. I'd only ever read The Phantom and, Garfield and Spider-Man, and that was
Yeah.
really it. So, yeah, that's fascinating.
So this one, Tearing the Pirates, went on for a long time, and after the original creator left, someone else took it over, and it wasn't as good. But if you can read these original stories, he learned so much himself and invented so many of these techniques. So the first year of this is very much building into it. It's raw, it's unrefined, it's not the best, because he has a little bit of a rough start, because he's still figuring out himself. But once you get into that second year, the second volume, and it just takes off, and it's so good. You'll see lots of people in the Silver Age of comics and the early Bronze Age of comics directly saying that Milton Caniff is an influence on their work. Like Howard Chaykin, it can't speak highly enough of Milton Caniff. And then any artist today who says, that their influencer so and so and so and so, chances are that the trail will lead back to Milton Caniff.
Okay.
And so if, like, they're being influenced by somebody who was influenced by Milton Caniff, it really, like, you can't underestimate or understate the influence that he had on the comics that we read today.
Wow.
High praise. I will need to get to it at some point. But I've been telling that to Kurtis for like the last 8 months, and I still haven't yet. So, in due time. Beau, What are the top 5 omnis in your collection? I know you got a
I
big
love it
one.
when people ask this because the Clone Saga is 4 omnis, so it's a pretty quick answer because there goes 4 of them. But no, if I'm not choosing those, I really always loved Annihilation and Annihilation Conquest. Those 2 omnis, Earth X and Earth X, the second one, whatever that's called. Those 2. So that'll be 4. And you know what? I think the upcoming DeMatteis Spider-Man one is going to be in there as well, man. So yeah,
Good picks. So the upcoming Green Lantern Rebirth compendiums will be the superior way to collect GL Rebirth run as opposed to the 3 omnis by Jeff. It's going to be a much better reading experience comparatively. You know what? I have the photo of all of the comparisons.
I hate that annoys me. That annoys me so much.
I feel because I have all of the omnis and like I even have Brightest Day and Blackest Night too, and they're all going to be comprehensively collected in there, Richard, for the best reading experience. And I hate it. Well, partly because I've already spent a lot. I'll just say hundreds of dollars. I don't want to get to the thousands, but hundreds of dollars on Johns and Tomasi and Gibbons and Bedard Green Lantern. So for a lot of this, it's just like, I mean, yeah, it's a lot. I'm gonna pull up the comparison right now so people know what they're getting into with these. If I may share my screen, I talked about this on the announcement video as well. But this is, if I may, this is what we're looking at in terms of the differences between the Sinestro Corps War Compendium, what's included in the first 2 John's omnibuses, the Gleason and Tomasi Omnibus Volume 1, and books 2 through 4 of the complete collection type books of Green Lantern by Jeff Johns. So yeah, it's a lot. I hope that DC Finest maps them the same way too, because this is how I would map it if I also
Can you
were doing
send me this privately, please?
I will happily.
Go look over it properly.
Yeah, I happily will. But yeah, take a screenshot of it, guys. I am not opposed to that is what we try to do here. Omar, you look way younger today. Which one of us is Omar?
Not me.
Any chance of getting the adventures of Bruce Lee or Dallas newspaper strip collections, Kurtis?
That's a great question. Probably not, because they well, I mean, yeah, it depends on who has the license, because both of those are comic strip or are newspaper collections that are based on other properties. So we'd have to not only find out which newspaper syndicate has the rights, if they still have the rights to, Dallas, and then contact the owners of Dallas and pay 2 licensing fees, possibly, potentially. Same with Bruce Lee, the estate of Bruce Lee, to use his likeness and all of that kind of stuff. You have to get on board with that. It also depends on if we could find the material for it as well. If we just can't find suitable quality source material to scan from, then then we can't get it out there. So if someone has a full collection of that kind of stuff, then let us know. But honestly, like, is a Dallas newspaper strip collection going to sell well? I don't know. I don't know about that. It's a hard sell. Like, you'd be surprised the Spider-Man newspaper strip doesn't sell as well as you'd expect it to, because comic book fans don't necessarily care about newspaper strips, even though it's Spider-Man and even though it's John Romita. Like, that's Spider-Man. Dallas is way further down on the list of desirability there. Bruce Lee has some name value, so that would be a little bit better, but even still, it's like, I don't know. Publishing is something that's like, it's harder to take risks these days with publishing. with the costs soaring on things like paper and printing, and with tariffs and all of that kind of stuff, it's like you have to have more guaranteed success, especially for smaller publishers. And then when you have to factor in paying licensing fees and stuff like that, it's just it's hard. It's really hard.
It is indeed. Thank you, Curtis, for answering. Listen, we might not be Omar, but I think we fill up the niche decently enough to pass through. But on a more serious note, Omar will be live from Walt's Comic Shop next week on Saturday. He will be live with not only Walt, who is the owner of Walt's, he will also Christian Ward and a couple of other guests will pop up. Are there any omnibus books to get the early Detective Comics issues, like issue number 1 pre-Batman stuff?
Yeah. No, there's not. Oh,
Mm-mm.
okay. I thought there was.
They were going to make an omnibus of all of those early Detective Comics, but they got cold feet because of the really racist content in them. There's a lot of especially yellow peril propaganda in there, and so they pulled it. They didn't release it. So I don't think that there is a way to get those pre-Batman Detective issues.
So where does the Golden Age Omnis start? I always just
27.
assumed
Issue
Okay.
27 of Detective.
27.
The Golden Age Omnis only include the Batman stories. They don't include any of the other backup stories, and they don't
Yeah,
include
right.
any of the stuff that came in Detective before Batman. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
if you're looking for that stuff, I don't know. You'll have to go to some nefarious website probably.
So we're gonna label it not as. I will say that unless DC does something like a DC Fine a Slam Bradley, but man, the stuff in those early issues, I don't know if I remember shifting through them a couple of years ago. They're not wonderful reads, to say the least, at least for me.
Yeah.
So again, unless they do something like a DC Fine a Slam Bradley, I don't know if there is a big pining for it. I can't see any of those getting pushed out anytime soon, Patel. But it is that is what it is. Let's see. Curtis, are the Annihilation epics a good alternative to the Omnis?
I mean, I think that it's exactly the same as the Omnis, as far as I know. So if you don't mind smaller artwork, then I think it's a perfect alternative.
Okay, well, there you go. Let's see. Oh, this is Carson. This is in specifics with the Sinestro Core War Compendium. That was for the chart. Recharges. Actually, hold on. Do I have the thing? But yes, I mean, regardless, you're going to get a. My point is, you're going to get a more complete. You're going to get a more complete reading order in those, and they've also. I will also say they've shifted around the order for some of the stories that were previously pushed or put out after the first 6 issues or the 6-issue series of Green Lantern Rebirth. So there is a little bit of a different reading order in the compendiums versus the omnibuses that we have, such as Green Lantern by Johns 1 and Green Lantern by Tomasi and Gleason 1. So there it is. Let's see. Any word on finally getting a Mon Ami Omni? I thought he was about to make a name for himself.
The Trial of Gambit?
Yeah, we have that upcoming.
Will that do?
Yeah. I think your words have been I think your prayers have been answered, CNSS 84. Get the Trial of Gambit Omni when it comes out in a couple of months. Let's see. Crazy how many IPs had newspaper strips. Pokemon and Ninja Turtles also had newspaper strips.
Pokemon.
Sure did. I love that newspaper strip. It was so different. That one was weird too. It started off as a normal like adventure strip and stuff, and then it turned to being like really focused on climate change and like global awareness and stuff like that, and then it turned into like just showcasing fan art eventually, and it's like and like funny games and stuff. So it didn't last very long, and I think it didn't really know what it was trying to do, but it was fun. I like the art style in that one.
There you go. I have to check them out at some point. I'm a fake fan. Beau, how can a Green Lantern use the Yellow Lantern on your shelf? Is there a story in which that happens?
Is there a story in which that happens? I'm sure Green Lantern is. I mean, they've switched teams a couple of times here and there, so yeah, it can happen. And I'm sure it did happen somewhere in the Jeff Johns run. I'm right. Someone back me up here.
I mean, Batman almost wears a Yellow Lantern ring, but he gets denied because he wore a Green Lantern ring.
No, but the question is, how can a Green Lantern use the Yellow Lantern? So is there a story in which the Green Lantern uses a Yellow Lantern in the story? I'm pretty sure that's happened somewhere. I'm going to say yes. Do I have facts or evidence to back it up? Absolutely not.
I don't remember it happened. I've read that run a billion. You know what? How flip flops and change. I mean, Sinestro went back from yellow to green.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, in the middle of it. So, and how at the tail end of the run, I mean, he goes chaotic with all of the emotional spectrum. So, have any of you ever attended San Diego Comic-Con? I'll answer this quickly first. I have never been to a comic convention, and I'm still waiting on my first one.
Oh man,
wow. It'll be exciting when you get to go. Yeah, I've been to two. I've been to it twice. Just the year before this last one, and then and I think it was 2017. It was a great experience. Both times I went down to help out the publisher that I work for, and so it got to meet a bunch of people and go to some panels and just see all the excitement. Yeah, it's quite the experience. I don't think I need to go every year. It's very overwhelming, but a lot of fun.
Okay. Yeah, I think next year San Diego. I know that Omar was supposed to be this year, but next year San Diego, I believe, is when my first convention will be. And
awesome.
I'd love to take you to your first con, Dom. Like that would. Oh well, sorry about that. But you know what I mean. I would love to take you, man, because that would be such an experience. Like, I don't know, man. I just can't think of what it might be like as an adult going for the first time. And San Diego for me would be a dream. It'd be an absolute dream.
Someday we're gonna get Aussieverse to San Diego Comic-Con. Someday. Hi guys. Hey Kurtis. So hyped for the latest Marvel art of Michael Del Mundo. Pre-ordered the OPB exclusive slipcase. Will there be any exclusive via OPB for Del Mundo? If you know?
They haven't asked us about that yet, but they have been pretty consistent so far. The last couple of times they've wanted it, so they might. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one. There's no deal in place for that one yet. But yeah, they have the organic price books exclusive for the Tyler Kirkham book that's coming out soon, and so maybe you'll have to ask organic price books.
Okay. Two more quickies. Annihilation.
What's Organic Prices Books' new name again? They changed their name, right?
Yeah.
Peanut Butter coming out. Panel Bound Comics.
Panel Bound Comics. It'll be a Panel Bound Comics exclusive slipcase edition, but I don't know if that's coming.
There we go. Parver's Comic Reader says Annihilation. Highly recommend reading Thanos between Drax and Annihilation. One shot not collected in the Omnibus or Epics, unfortunately.
Oh, that's too bad.
Unfortunate. Kurtis, who's your favorite Spider-Man comic strip artist? Thought Flora Derry was exceptional.
Yeah, Floral Derry is exceptional. But I have to say Romita. I mean, that's just like he's so good and top of the line there. Larry Lieber did it for so many years, and he was really good at mimicking Romita's style. Not quite as good as Romita is, but he was still pretty good too. Yeah, they had a number of really excellent artists on the strip. They kept it simple. They were never. It was never flashy, and it was never something that was trying to be innovative or anything like that. It was very consistent, and even until its later days, in the 2000s when it was finally canceled, Alex Saviuk was doing a lot of the art, and so it kept it in line with that consistent kind of Romita style.
Okay, well, there you go. Here's a interesting question from John. What's your ideal sandwich?
Pastrami, salami, bacon, avocado, cheese, chili sauce, jalapenos, maybe a bit of lettuce and some other of that vegetable stuff.
Some other of that vegetable stuff. All right. How about you, Kurtis?
Well, I love a really good grilled cheese sandwich on sourdough, like thick sourdough. And I'll throw in some some sort of meat and hot sauce in there as well. Mayo, something
Okay.
like that, chipotle.
Of course.
Yeah. I think I'm a simple guy. I get Italian sandwiches at every single sandwich spot that I ever go to. Pepperoni, salami, pastrami, bacon, ham, extra Parmesan cheese, whatever cheese you want to throw up on there too, some lettuce. I actually have, believe it or not, Beau, I have fallen in love with avocado on my sandwiches.
Avocado's good. Yep.
Yeah. Your sandwich sounds better than mine. Would you put jalapenos on there as well?
I don't see why not.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. Any Italian sandwich, just make it just a tiny bit spicier. Add some Parmesan. Oh my gosh. That's a perfect sandwich for me.
Oh, I'm hungry now.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. It's 3 a.m. there, but is what it is. Yes, the Green Lantern compendiums will also include Green Lantern Corps. So we'll all be in there. Yeah, Trial Gambit's coming out, CNSS. I know that people. I know Omar. What are the words that he uses? I would buy, even though. What's the quote? It's for Chuck Austin's X-Men. He said something along the lines of, "Man, I know Marvel's never going to do it, but I'd buy that Chuck Austin X-Men Omni if they ever solicited it." And I think he'd say the same for Trial of Gambit. Lionheart, hope you're doing well. Good morning to you. Did I hear you right about DC Finest? Found that most of DC Finest do not contain runs, but rather select issues.
But no, it's the idea of it is to be completely unbroken from start to finish.
Yeah, they collect them in years.
So it's
go ahead.
the way the only times you'll find it as select issues is if the character doesn't have an ongoing title of their own. So, for instance, the Peacemaker DC Finest is select issues, but it's his appearances, his consecutive appearances over a period of time, in order to give us an unbroken run of his appearances from start to finish.
Yes, indeed. You three need to go to Heroes Con. If Omar funded the trip, I'm not saying no.
Mate, I've been trying to get him here. Maybe it is better if I just go there. At this point.
Yeah. Let's see. As far as I know, yeah, New Earth Batman has only ever used yellow, black, and white lantern rings. He got declined at the chance for yellow. He used white in Blackest Night. So he has not the full spectrum, but he's had some of them. Sakis GR, how did you all get started with reading comics? What drew you to them, and what kept them on? Or what kept you guys on?
What drew you to them? What kept you reading on? Okay, well, my old man gave me a stack when I was about 9, wanted me to read. He always tried to think about ways to make money as well. So went to the comic store and bought a stack of number ones. Little did he know, it was like early 90s, and everything was a number one then. So in them was Venom Lethal Protector, number one, and a few other things. And I was addicted ever since. And all those number ones never really amounted to much financially.
How about you, Curtis?
When I was a kid, the local newspapers, the Sunday comics in the local newspaper was an actual like book insert. So it wasn't like printed on newspaper or whatever. It looked like a little comic book, and it would have the strips like Garfield and um, for the Family Circus and Peanuts and all of that kind of stuff. And there was like a little 12-page comic book. And my parents didn't have a subscription to that newspaper, but my grandparents did. And they knew I liked it, so they would save it for me. So every time I went over to my grandparents' house, I'd have a little stack of these comics to read. And I loved them. And that's why I'm so into the newspaper comic strips now, is because I've just always loved the way of reading them like that. And like seriously, I think 50% of my shelves here are newspaper comic strip collections. And then on the same around the same time, at a birthday party, I think it was my 8th or 9th birthday party, I was given some Spider-Man comics as a birthday present and loved them, absolutely loved them. And so found out where I could get more. There was a little comic shop that was close by to my house. My parents would take me there on Saturdays to spend my allowance, and that kind of just kept on going from there. And that's where I am now.
Okay. I was a kid. I was in kindergarten when my uncle in the Philippines gave me a couple issues of Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. He gave me the last issue of the Sinestro Corps War crossover storyline, Green Lantern issue 25. Gave me a couple of Black Knight issues and a couple issues here and thereof.
Kindergarten?
Yeah, kindergarten.
Wow, that's pretty early reading there.
Check out this intergalactic war.
You'll love the political intrigue on this one.
Yeah, some of those words were a little bit too big for Dom, but I don't think Dom cared because they had lasers that came out of those lanterns, and they just started punching people, and that's all that I cared about. I got a little bit older. My cousin from my dad's side gave me. Actually, you know what? I met Jim Lee back a couple of months ago, and my cousin gave me this. She gave me a lot of the early New 52 trade paperbacks. I got it signed by Jim Lee on the front, and I video called her about a week later. I said, "Hey, by any shot, do you remember you giving this to me when I was a kid?" She was like, "Yeah, that was such a long time ago. I'm surprised you still had it." And I showed her the signature, told her that I met Jim Lee, and it was just like a really nice circle of life type of story thing. One of the most heartwarming moments that I've had this year for sure.
That's good.
Yeah, been reading comics ever since, and I don't know what I'm stopping. So that's where I'm at. Question for the panel. Just left my LCS, picked up a few single issues, including Batman issue number 1. Do you guys think that I should open the blind black bag of Batman issue number 1?
Yep, well, you should do it right now, please, so we know what's inside it.
Yes. Do it.
I was going to say that depends. Like, do you want to read it? Like, did you buy another copy? Are you looking to sell one day? But ignore everything I just said. Go with Curtis's answer.
Open it right now.
There we go. I bought the $25 Art Germ variant cover for Batman issue number 1 because I collect, as I think some people might know, but yeah, I collect Art Germ covers.
Cover?
Oh no, it's the brand new Doctor that's introduced in the run. That's that variant cover.
Okay,
it's a very expensive one. It's a Spotlight, yeah. Yeah, I am a massive Art Germ fan. Doesn't matter if it's an exclusive, if it's this expensive variant, I will buy it. It's killed my wallet a couple times. I had to pay like $100 for an Emma Frost variant that was only available at a convention.
Yeah.
Don't do it, guys. But that is me. But yes, open it. Open. What's up?
Did you get the 2 Marvel art books? No, sorry, DC.
Oh, DC. Yeah, they are. They should be right here in my studio somewhere. But yes, I do have those 2 Art Germ poster books.
Yeah,
could not say no to that at all. Let's see. Kurtis. Most wanted Marvel art of artists is J. Scott Campbell. Kurtis, please make this happen in the future.
Okay, I'll work on that. He's on our list. We have got a big long list of people that we definitely want to do these art books with, and he's definitely at the top. So we would love it to happen, but
Mm.
we'll have to see if that actually happens or not.
Oh, for sure.
He's got a Kickstarter going right now, actually, J. Scott Campbell.
Yeah, for the Danger Girl artist
Yeah.
edition with Scott Doombeer and the folks over at Skybound. Come on, Moneybags, Omar. Scrooge is his favorite. Should we start up Marvel? No, why are we starting up Marvel rumors, Josh? That's never a good thing.
Troublemaker, that's why.
That does sound delicious. Is trouble delicious? Let's see. Yeah, never throw away a Jim Lee book. I still have all of mine, even from when I was a kid. So that hasn't changed. Just ordered. Man, you guys are making me hungry, and it's not even close to lunchtime yet. I had a ham sandwich this morning I made for breakfast before I got on stream. Glad X-Men Blue and Gold and Dawn of X Volume 1 are in good reading order. I know that we have suggested, or Omar has suggested anyways, that the Dawn of X Omnis should follow the Jordan D. White reading order that is in his deep bowels and files that exist somewhere, that was curated when Hickman was still the head of X. And it seems like that's what they're doing now. That's what I'm very, very excited for. Because I bought all of the X-Men. I have every single issue of the Krakoa era, which I had, 500 plus issues that I don't know if I'll ever get my money back, but I know that it means a lot to me because it got me into Marvel, got me into trying out, different different characters. So I'm very excited.
I had the whole Clone Saga for like 10, 15 years or something. It was insane.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, that's dedication in my opinion anyways. The Circle of Jim. Oh my gosh. Ronzilla, good morning, man. Hope you are doing well. Still have my bag Death of Superman issue number 75. It'll be worth millions someday. Millions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think I have a bagged X-Force number 1 with a collector card in it. Pretty sure I have that still somewhere.
That's no, for sure. Oh man. Do you know which is it like do you know which cards are in there?
Yeah. It's a clear bag, so you can see which card is in there.
Okay. Well, color that in. Okay, let's see. Speaking of Art Germ, always wanted that Supergirl statue. Crazy expensive. There are a lot of Art Germ like statues or like models that I've always wanted. But yeah, it is interesting. Did J. Scott Campbell ever draw any interior art for Marvel? He had some interiors in issue number 25 of Brian Michael Bendis' all new X-Men, believe it or not, Carson. I do remember that because they got a whole bunch of pinup guys to do like inside art.
Oh, so was it just a pinup, but it
served a part in the story. It served a part in the story.
So has he done any like actual sequential art for Marvel? I don't think that the answer is yes. I think the answer is no for that.
Yeah, the answer is definitely no for that. But yeah, he does. Yeah, he hasn't done. Yeah, Josh has got a Kickstarter. Check out. Yes,
I just backed Josh's Kickstarter while we were talking here, so I think everybody else should as well.
There we go. Help make a book. Bang Kickstarter. Get those numbers up. Last question from Josh to Kurtis is Volume 13 final?
Okay.
That was a definite yes.
So yeah, we had a Volume 1 and 13 bundle, and Volume 13 is not the final Terry. It is a bonus book of a history and behind the scenes of the making of Terry and the Pirates and the history of Terry, with a lot of different kind of other art, photographs of Milton Caniff and his stuff like that. So it's a bonus volume. We called it volume 13 though because all of the spine art connects, and so we had to put it somewhere. So it's at the very end.
You had a
But it comes
Kickstarter for
bundled with
13
volume 1.
hardcovers.
No, we didn't do a Kickstarter for these Terry and the Pirates. We just went straight to retail and sold them off of our website.
I was going to say, because that sounds like a lot.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, the shipping would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
That would be a lot. But yes, we do got a 10-minute warning. We want to thank you guys for joining us on the stream as well. Always love hanging out with y'all. We got the Danger Girl Kickstarter. Thank you, Josh. If you want to check again, we also do have the interview up and ready for it. I opened it. It is the foil cover by Julian Totino Tedesco. Let me see if I can show the folks what this is the cover. Lionheart was able to pull in.
That is a great cover to have. That is such a great cover.
Indeed. I love Julian Totino Tedesco. I don't he did a lot of the early covers for Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil before Marco Cacchetto took over on cover art.
Oh yeah, right. Those covers were amazing.
Oh my gosh, like the one like with some of them like had it was a table. There was a lot of blood on it. I think that one probably had to be my favorite of the bunch. But yeah, love his art. Kurtis, you don't need to go to the Barker Comic and Cartoon Museum. Tons of classic comics merch for Terry, Popeye, Dick Tracy, Buck Rogers, Flash, Steve Canyon, and Brownsies and more.
Barker Comic and Cartoon Museum. I'll have to look that up. I don't know it. Yeah.
And have you read 8 either in French or from Cinebook? Thinking about picking up a full set on a 2-for-1 deal.
My friend, that is 13. 13.
Oh, I can't read. I read VI.
You need to learn your Roman numerals there, buddy.
I know L equals 50. Okay.
I didn't even pick up on that.
So I haven't read the whole series, but I've read probably like the first maybe dozen or so volumes of 13, and it is fantastic. It is such a good comic. It's a spy story, and it's a European comic written by I think Van Ham, and it is really, really great. And I recommend anyone wanting to kind of step outside the superhero genre and experience some different comics to try out that one because it's really, really good.
Okay. Well, note. Strike one for me, I guess. Yeah, you know what? I showed I have not covered in my defense, I have not covered Roman numerals since first grade. We had them in every single one of our curriculums for math up till 3rd. And I think that is where, unfortunately, is this the same 13 as the game?
This, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's had a lot of merch spin-offs, but because it's European, it doesn't get a whole lot of attention over here in North America.
Okay. Has this specific panel read the Batman Adventures comics?
Oh yeah, that was one of the few because I was a big fan of the cartoon, and so I read those comics, and they're great. In fact, so Batman Adventures, after that show was canceled, they turned the comic into a different one called Gotham Adventures, and the last few issues, I can't remember who wrote them, but they were drawn by Tim Levins, and they are seriously some of the best Batman comics that I've ever read. Like if you even including like, all of the famous Batman stories, Killing Joke and all of that kind of stuff. Those last few issues of Gotham Adventures, the last maybe dozen to 20 issues, like they're so good. Really, really amazing Batman comics.
Okay. Yeah, I've read a good chunk of them. Because of DC Universe Infinite, and I wanted some background for the Batman and Robin Adventures Omnibus that came shortly after. They're all wonderful, like episodic one-shot types. Like if you just want pure Batman fun, I mean, you can't get any better, in my opinion, anyways, in the Batman Adventures comics. So, let's see if I can move. You don't, Dom. Oh my gosh, Josh, you don't play FF. I see as well. My friends all play Final Fantasy. I know who the characters are. I bought one of the games.
Which letters were on that one?
I know that there was an X on it because I haven't played Final Fantasy VII yet.
He was saying it was a Fantastic Four game.
It's see, maybe there is a. I've played Lego Marvel 1 and 2. Does that count, Josh? That
Lego
counts,
Marvel.
right?
The first Lego Marvel is so good. I love that one.
Yeah, did not care for the second one.
No, I didn't either. But the first one, I 100% in that one. It was super good.
It is a fun game. Let's see. Let's go run in for the last 5 minutes. Kurtis, are the John Carter of Mars comics by Jesse Marsh something interesting?
I have not read them, so I can't comment on that. Sorry.
Okay. All right. If you could suggest one book to another based on what you know of each one, which would it be?
Okay. Man, I don't know too much about you, Omnibo, except you're a big Scarlet Spider fan.
I know, right? Yeah, I think we'd need a lot of thought put into this one. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so what I know about you, for example, newspaper strips, which means probably a lot of pulp stuff. So I'd be looking at, anything criminal. That would be at the top of my head. If you haven't read Criminal, I'd be handing you one of Brubaker's criminal books.
Hey, I have read some Brubaker, some of his crime stuff, and have loved it, but I have not read Criminal, so that's perfect.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. And Dom, I would give you probably. I don't know, man. I've got a few smart ass answers, but if I want to be fair and I want to be sincere, it would probably just be a run that I know you haven't read that I think you'd really, really like. So I'd be checking what Spider-Man ones you haven't read, and whichever one you haven't, I'd be giving you that Omni probably.
Okay, thank you. I'll take anything Spider-Man in. I need to read more Spider-Man anyways, so I'm not gonna say no to that. What books would
Punisher?
Punisher. Okay, there we go. I would give Kurtis. Man, Kurtis is usually the one recommending me books because I don't know anything. I'll give him Punisher Max by Jason Aaron. We'll make that into an epic. We'll get it there somehow. I'll give Beau. I'll give Beau.
You say League. No, not League. If you say what's the one? I've gone blank now. The one that you always talk about that you love. The Future Kids.
Oh, Legion?
Yeah, if you give me them, I'm not going to be impressed.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. I will give you DC Finest Batman Year 1 and Year 2. How's that?
Okay, yeah, cool.
Nice. Okay, so I think I'm going to recommend Grendel to Omnibo. Have you read Grendel before?
No, but I do know Grendel. I've read the Grendel Batman crossover.
Oh, okay. I think that you would enjoy Grendel based on the things that you have mentioned here. And you're yeah, okay. I'll just leave it at that. And then for Dom, I think that I want you to read The Escapist. If you've never read that, from Dark Horse. And because it's kind of a modern blending of old and new, and because we go through old and new with DC Finest, going back through the DC Finest catalog. So I want you to read The Escapist.
Okay. Thank you for that. And if you want to read The Escapist and you live here in the United States, please check out our epic sponsors over at cheapgraphicnovels.com. Just mention us to them and you will get free shipping on your next order. That is cheapgraphicnovels.com, your reliable source for everything big and beautiful here in America, I suppose. This is
novels.
Hey, we could yes, we got to make that a thing. This has been a great stream. Do we really need Omar back? Well, Omar's bringing in Christian Ward, and unfortunately, I can't do that, so probably not.
Can't you change the passwords and stuff.
Okay.
Haven't you got that access?
I do have the access to that.
So you can then. Just saying, take over.
Yes, indeed. I'm set. Man, she's probably busy, Axel. I'd love to though. I would. It is indeed there. Max, who is going to be with Beau tomorrow on Jess's channel.
Yes. I'm going to go to bed and sleep for 4 hours, I think, and then be on Jess.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go with 2 more questions. Do you have any faith in DC making a few Kyle Rayner Omnis? I have a lot of faith in DC and a lot of stuff right now, considering the outputs, and they are putting in a lot of effort into restoring and remastering a lot of the books that they haven't had the chance to before. So I am very, very, very much so got the faith in them to do that. And yes, smash that like button if you haven't yet. So tell your friends to hang out on Saturdays. Can you guys marathon stream a couple of... If Omar increased the pay, I would absolutely do it.
But he's paying you to be here?
Hello? Yeah, what?
What? Hold on a second.
Oh my god.
That's uncool. That's uncool.
What do you mean?
Mate, in the contract you sent me, I was, you know what? We'll discuss this later, but I definitely thought there was money involved.
Oh, my bad, guys. I'm so sorry. And then one last question. How would you guys rank these Batman writers? Tom King, Scott Snyder, James Tynion. Snyder 1, Tynion 2, King 3.
Great. I like them all.
Well, I haven't read any of their Batman stuff, so I can't comment on there. But I do really like Something is Killing the Children.
Okay, there you go. Those are our recommendations today, and that is all that we have the time for today on Near Mint Condition. I want to thank Beau for killing. It feels like every single stream it happens with me and him exerting and KOing his energy, but I want to thank him for taking time out of his life to sacrifice it on the behalf of Near Mint Condition. I also want to thank Kurtis for bringing the incredible Alf figure to the back, as per always with these. Beau, where can we find you?
Look up Aussieverse. You can find us everywhere. Go check out Aussieverse. Subscribe, because it's a long slog here in Australia getting to that sub number.
But they got good stuff, guys. They got fun games, they got fun interviews, and of course they got Single Issue Steve, who is one of the most entertaining Bengals fans in the world. Kurtis, where can they find you, my friend?
Go to the epicmarvelpodcast.com or check out my Facebook group. On Facebook, just search for Epic Collections, and that's where you'll find me hanging out.
Indeed. We got 10 days of videos for you guys. Of course, you can find me here, and I can't wait to make sure where you guys are taken care of here on Near Mint Condition. But that is it for me. I am Dom. Please stay safe, guys, and have a wonderful day wherever you are.